Hi, welcome to my video on the PNITRI, and I hope I got that right, selfie stick. Now this is a smartphone selfie stick tripod with built-in light and remote and tripod legs. Now I bought this off Amazon UK for $16.99 and it comes in this white box here. And there's two variations in color. I have the black one here, but it also comes in white as well, which is £3 less and comes in at £13.99. Now in the box you get the selfie stick itself, the remote, and also a USB-C to USB charging cable. This is how the PNITRI looks, and I hope I got that right when it's out the box. Now this is what I call a pipe selfie stick, because basically it just has the form factor of a small piece of piping. The whole entire length of the selfie stick, when closed down between these 2 points, is 9.5 inches long with just over an inch in diameter. It's made of ABS plastic, and yes, as you can see, it does have a built-in light. So I'll start off with the top. Now at the very top we have the button to switch on the light and to put it into 3 light modes that it does have. Now it also has modes where it can be shone as daylight or a kind of tint to the light. So we have that, that's what that button's for. Next to it at the top here, just about get it on there folks, is the USB-C port. As we come down the body of the selfie stick here, we have the remote here, and it's I would say it's a nice decent remote, and it simply sits in this cradle here. The remote is also made out of plastic, but I'll talk a bit more about the remote because, believe it or not, this remote, even though the light can be charged, the remote requires a small coin cell battery, which is a bit of a shame. So we have the remote that sits in the cradle here. And as we come down, we have the words PNITRI written right across the middle here. And then we come to the main body, which doubles up as the legs. Now, the shame thing about this is that the whole entire selfie stick tripod is very, very smooth. There's no rubber on the legs here for grip. There's rubber on the bottom of the legs to give it grip when the legs are extended out. Now to get to the phone clamp with this particular selfie stick tripod, we simply pull up where the light fitting is, and as we pull up it reveals the clamp here, and inside there is the stem, which is an aluminium stem. Now the clamp itself has a bottom I would say jaw here which folds down. Now the clamp, it does state rotates in a 360 degrees. So basically when you put your phone in, you can put it in either landscape, or you can turn it and put your phone as portrait in there. So that's what that can do. On the clamp here you can see, try and get that, on the clamp here you can see there is a little warning triangle here that tells you be careful of nipping your hand, which basically means that when you're going to place the actual clamp back into the main body of this selfie stick, not to push down like so in case you nip your hand. So that's what that sign is on this clamp is for. Now the phone clamp can just turn just over 90 degrees, so from that position to when you want it to point at you, to that position, so it can do on there. There is no screws visible on either side where the arm which is holding the phone clamp is, and the arm itself is also made out of plastic. This is how your phone looks in the clamp in landscape position. Now one thing I forgot to mention, on the phone clamp there is some rubber at the top of the phone clamp and some rubber at the bottom of the phone clamp to hold your phone in place. This is how the PNITRI looks when it's fully extended out. I know I'm saying that particular selfie stick wrong, but anyway, that's how it looks when it's fully extended out. Now between these 2 points here, fully extended out from the very top of the selfie stick to the very bottom, it is 30.5 inches long. But you know, on my video I don't go by that because you're losing, I want the true extension length of the stem itself. So obviously you're losing inches when you're by the handle. So I go by the top of the handle to the bottom of the mount because you're losing inches off that. So between these 2 points, the true length of extension is 17 inches. This is how it will look when you got it in your selfie position in landscape here. And as you can see, like I said to you before, this particular mount does fold back at 90 degrees towards, up to 90 degrees towards you. And so this is how it looks. It does come out in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actual sections that comes out. And I do like what PNITRI has done is each section does have these black collars which are plastic in between. The actual stem is aluminium, and it does have on the stem a kind of indentation, a seam on both sides, front and back, to give it more strength. Now we come to the light mode at the light mod at the top. As I stated before, we have a button here to go through, cycle through, to switch on the light and to cycle through the modes. And next to it, we do have the USB-C port here, so you can charge it with the cable. Now, from total dead of the light to charging it up, it takes about 1.5 hours. It doesn't state anywhere on the literature, or even there's no instructions telling you what size battery is for the light mod on here. It doesn't tell you that, and nor does it tell you the Kelvin of the lights. So you get 2 different types of lights with this light mod on here. You get a bright white light, which represents daylight, I think, and then you have a shadier light on there, which obviously must, to me, represents indoor lighting, a softer light. So when you press the button at the top here for 3 seconds, we'll switch on the light and it'll put it. Now we're on the soft light, so you're on soft light number 1. Now it's brought into the harsh light or white light number 1, white light number 2, and soft light number 2. And then press it again and it will switch it off. So them are the modes of this light. This is how the remote shutter button looks like from the PNITRI. I know I'm not saying that right. It's about just over 1.5 inches long by just over ½ an inch in width. It's a nice remote. It does feel nice in the hand, and it's very small. And also on the back here, which I just about can pick it up, there is a hole for you to place a lanyard, which you do not get with this. So you can place a lanyard on this. Now, let me just go into it. First of all, this uses a 1632 battery. It uses, so it's a very small battery. They call them, I think they call them, is it going to get a fingernail style battery in there, which is a pity, because considering that the light can be charged by USB-C, they should have made the remote be chargeable as well, but it is what it is. Now, to access the battery at the back, you have to remove, at the top here, there's a very small Phillips screw there, or crosshead screw. You have to remove that, then just slide up the back to access the battery in there. To pair the remote, you simply push the switch for the first time. You simply pull up on the switch. You'll see a blue light starts to flash as you do that. If it's an Apple phone or an Android phone, you simply go to your Bluetooth. Android users simply make your phone discoverable, so your phone can see the remote shutter button on there. Once it can see it, it will come up. Your phone will find it, whether it's Android or Apple, and it will come up as PNITRI or PNITRI. I know I'm saying that wrong. It will come up there as PNITRI there. You don't need any code in there or password. That's not needed. Your phone will find it. It will ask you, do you want to pair or cancel? You press pair. Once you're paired with it, that will be it. Now, this is how the PNITRI or PNITRI looks when the legs are out. And the first thing I have to say is it does have a pretty low stance to the ground and a very wide footprint, so that is quite great in its favor for this particular selfie stick tripod. We do have some, and I'll try and show you here on there. I'll try and fit it on there. That's it. We do have some cross members here to give these legs more strength, which is really good, but the cross members here are not made out of metal whatsoever. They're made out of plastic, which is a bit of a shame, but it does give this this selfie stick very sturdy, especially on this tabletop here. Now at the very bottom we have these rubber feet here as well to give it grip as well, which is quite good. And you can use this, I would say, you could use this outside, because being that it sits so low to the ground and it has a wide footprint anyway, you can have this for outside use. But like I always say, if you're going to have this, especially if there's a breeze around or wind, do try and tether it. As for the middle section here, as the moment you fan the legs out, the middle section goes in. So there's no need to push the middle section in when you're opening these legs, which is very good, because most ones I have tried, you have to push the middle section in to spread the legs out. You don't have to do it with this particular selfie stick tripod. When it comes to the phone clamp on there, and you have it in this kind of mode on top of a desk or a table, as I stated to you before, that the phone clamp does go back just over 90 degrees, and that is so if I push that back a bit there, as you can see, if you're doing anything such as TikToks or YouTube videos, you can able to have this angled more towards you on a desk or on a table. Now the phone clamp, as I did state to you, does go in a 360 degrees with your phone on there, quite easy with your phone on there. So you can go into either portrait or landscape. Now this is my overall conclusion on the PNITRI. I hope I got that right, because I know I got it wrong. Selfie stick tripod. And I'll start off with the negatives on it first. And I have to say the biggest negative with this particular selfie stick tripod is got to be the handle here, stroke legs. It is, because this is made out of ABS plastic, they have not put any kind of design on there apart from these long thin markings or grooves on there, but they really needed to put a pattern on here or a layer of rubber on here to give this some grip in your hand, because presently when having this in your hand, it does feel of a good build quality. I do give it that for its price, but having this so smooth, and especially if you're one of these people whose hands get very sweaty, this is going to be like a bar of soap in your hands. So be aware of that. Another negative is got to be with this USB-C port at the top here. Now the reason why I put that as a negative is it's exposed. It would have been really good if they put a kind of lid on there or a little flap on there so you can close that off to the elements, because because this is being right at the very top, if you get caught out in a rain or a downpour, water's going to get into that port there very quickly. So be aware of that. And the last two negatives one has to be, because this is a pipe design, everything closes down into the body of this selfie stick. When retracting the selfie stick out for the clamp, it is very stiff. And I have to say, this is one of the stiffest retractable and pulling out of, I can't remember what the other word is, of this selfie stick. It's very, very stiff. So you have to be aware of that. Now, some people will like that, some people will hate that. I sit on the fence with that, so that's what you got to be aware of. And the other thing has to be, when you're doing these struts, I'll get that in there, right, is these struts between the legs here. Because they're made out of plastic, it would have been great if they would have been made out of aluminium. So that's another thing you have to be aware of. So I give that a negative. And last, which I almost forgot, is a negative, is the shutter button. Not the actual working of the shutter button or the operation of the shutter button. That's fine. It's just that it uses a C1632 battery, which is a very small, I think they call it fingernail style battery. It's very, very small. It's a pity that they couldn't make the actual shutter button chargeable like the light on top. That is a really, I say that is the, next to the smoothness of the handle, is the biggest negative about this. Thanks for watching the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. I perfectly understand my videos can be long, but I like to go into detail on the item or the product, so when you get it, you know what to expect. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the channel. I'll be grateful for that. And I'll see you next time.